Alright, so that ends day 1, and day 2 begins. Fusion. Okay, so day 2. I'm gathering some info on Melissa. She's got no relatives, and no close friends. She was sick often, always on some kind of medication. People at the opera said they were amazed she could even stand on stage. Her apartment burned down right after the incident, so we have no info on her medication. Wasn't exactly spontaneous. People were actually set on fire. Like one of those ESP things? Hmm. Good question. How do you fight something that can set stuff on fire? Better ask Baker for a better sidearm. Probably. Go down to the weapons department and give this permit to Torres. He'll help you out. Uh... Okay. So now that we have the 1911, let's... Alright, so now that we have... Now that we're past the theater, we do not need these key items anymore. They'll never be used again. Alright, we got ourselves a mod permit. Very iconic theme here. I always like this one. Okay, before we do anything, we want to go see Torres in the weapons department. Thank you, lady. Alright, so we got ourselves a tool. And some ammo. Hey, they're good looking. Cut the crap, Wayne. Where's Torres? That Baldy? Who knows? So what it'll be? Shotgun, rocket launcher? Uh-oh. Busted. Wait, why'd he call him Baldy? He has hair. Idiots like you are the reason why guns won't disappear from this country. Get your ass back to weapons storage. You're far from ready to be handling guns in here. And as long as cops rely on guns, criminals will too. It's a vicious cycle. I hate to hand a weapon to a young cop like you. But I guess this isn't your ordinary crook. Guess I can't send you off empty-handed. Yes. We probably don't need to hold on to the club anymore. Oh, maybe we can't get rid of it. That could be. Uh, This is the most powerful gun I can allow you to have. The M16A1 rifle. Captain Baker already notified me. Show me your modification permit again. Now, we don't really want to use that mod permit right now. You can use your tool to tune up your guns. You can rearrange equipment parameters and added effects to tweak your equipment. Using the tool item, you can add or remove parameters and added effects on your weapon or armor to create your customized equipment. If you remove an added effect from a weapon or armor, that equipment will just disappear. The number of added effects that can be attached to a piece of equipment is determined by the number of slots on that equipment. You can increase the slots by getting your equipment modified at the NYPD Weapons Department with weapon mods. So tools will move around abilities and statistics, but it will destroy the weapon that you're transferring from in the process. Okay, so we always have to carry our club. That makes sense. So, Aya has access to several different weapon types in this game. There are handguns, rifles, machine guns, shotguns, grenade launchers, and rocket launchers. Out of all the types, handguns are the most versatile and the ones you'll probably be using the most. Rifles are strong. They're pretty good, but they have a long reload time or ATB gauge use when you're in combat. Machine guns are pretty good overall, almost as good as handguns. The only problem is that usually they have a random target on it, which means you don't get to pick your target. It'll just be picked at random. After that, weapons start to become not as useful. Like, shotguns have some spread that hits nearby enemies, which is fine, but, like, as a weapon itself, they're not great. It's more useful to transfer that ability to other weapons. Grenade launchers are probably the least useful weapon you'll get, just because they have a super long ATB gauge. And then rocket launchers, they usually only have a single shot per fire. So, while they're powerful, you don't want to be using them against most normal enemies. Okay, so what was I doing? Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. Okay, so we can take the ammo out of the other two weapons and store them in the crate. Okay, so we can move the P20 over here. We can move the M84F over here. We're going to move the KV vest. Oh, now we can distribute bonus points. That's good. Now, there are some hold on. Can I do it from... Oh, yeah, no, I can. So you can allocate bonus points to a couple different things on Aya's person. You can speed up the active time gauge. You can increase your item capacity. You can increase the attack power of a weapon or increase the defensive power of armor. Now, something that you need to keep in mind is that going into New Game Plus, your bonus points that you put into active time and item capacity will not carry over. So, since we want to do the Chrysler building, it might be more useful for me to just pump my points into weapons for the time being. That way at least points are getting used somehow. Actually, you know what? Let's see what I'm doing. Alright, so we want to store the mod permit for now. Okay, so I think that'll do for now. Now, I think every time you come back into this room... Does the ammo refill? No, I guess that's later. Okay, so this is actually this gun will get us through the rest of this day. It's a very solid weapon overall. What are you looking at? Oh, nice. A CM Vest 1. Cure P. Let's put that away for now. Alright, let's go ahead and save. And then we'll go talk to the kid down the hall. So there should be a phone in here. There it is. Ring, ring, ring. Okay, let's go talk to the kid down the hall. Although we can explore a little bit. Though I don't think there's a whole lot going on in here. Or stuff to find. So here's the dog kennels of the NYPD. That's the weapons department, and it's authorized personnel only. Okay, now let's go talk to the kid. So this is Ben. This is Daniel's son. Tickets for a concert? Oh dear. There he goes. It's not true. I was raised by my father too after my mother died. I'll always be grateful for him. Well, his mother's still alive. Strained relationship, huh? So here's the conference hall. Right, so I think at this point we need to go talk to Chief Baker again. Daniel divorced his wife last year. This was before you were assigned here. He kept saying every boy needs a father. So he fought for Ben's custody with Lorraine, his ex-wife. Well, he won, but being a cop, I doubt if he has time to spend with him. Well, thank you for that backstory. We're having a press conference and I want you there. You'll be on national television as the sole survivor of that incident. Okay. Only answer when I ask you. The media's just looking for anything to grill us about. They may even turn you into a suspect, so let me do the talking, understood? Opera Theater Incident Press Conference. Captain Baker and Detective Brea. Officers and firemen at the scene bursting into flames. Oops. Sorry about that. How did Detective Brea survive without so much as a minor burn? She said that my mitochondria were a mutation. According to a report, Melissa Pierce was killed in the fire. Melissa did die. Her body has been taken over by this Eve. She's some kind of alien? I don't think Baker's gonna be happy about that. Well, she was telling the truth. Only stir up the media and cause people to panic. I always thought he was Chief Baker, but he's only a captain. I mean, only. Captain is still a high-ranking official. Or high-ranking post, whatever. Some Japanese scientist, I think, couldn't understand his English too well. He was raving about some Mito something, says he's coming over here. Mito? He might have said mitochondria. You mean that thing in the cell that makes energy from oxygen? The powerhouse of the cell? Some researcher at the museum wrote a new theory on them. Better get there before the media. It may explain that phone call too. Alright, so off to the museum. Okay. What a case to have on Christmas, huh? You're telling me. Okay, so we're off to the museum. Going to the Museum of Natural History. Dr. Hans Klamp will be there. Or Clamp. According to the papers, he's working on a new theory. Mitochondria something, but it seems to cover the whole genetic spectrum. To have a PhD and be working in a museum. He's pretty antisocial and doesn't like to waste time outside research. Yep. Sure will. Daniel, why do you kiss the chief's butt? You two joined the force at the same time, didn't you? Hey, it's a chocobo on the front. You can't fool me. Well, here we are. The world of dinosaurs. I'm sure they can let an officer of the law in. Hey there, how you doing? Matter of fact, he's up there in his room right now. Did he do something? Thank you, sir. Pretty creepy without any people. Find him in the research lab on the second floor. Been pretty busy for the past few weeks. Doesn't come out. Ever. Just hope this place doesn't explode or anything one of these days. Gee, Daniel, you sure you don't want to run down here and do it yourself? Okay, I guess we can sign in for him too. Oh my, aren't you cheeky? Ring ring. Right. Let's meet this Dr. Clamp dude. Well, he's completely absorbed with his work. I guess just ask him. We're looking for clues concerning the incident which occurred. Are you accusing me? Huh? Oh, there's that hospital again. She recognizes him. I know him, I think. I'd like to ask you about the mitochondria research you've been doing. The suspect mentioned that the mitochondria would be set free. Now, do you... That suspect ignited people without laying a finger on them. Then it transformed into some kind of creature and ran off. Since you mentioned mitochondria, we were hoping you could supply us with some info. You two have absolutely no idea what the true mitochondria is like. Do you? It possesses its own unique genetic code. You saying it's a separate organism? Precisely. Kinda like a parasite or something? Parasite? That's an interesting way of describing this most fascinating creature. Almost like it's a parasite Eve. We cannot live without the mitochondria. It creates energy for us. Without it, we're nothing. We are here because the mitochondria allows us to be here. Our brain, for example, it functions due to the interactions between axons and dendrites. This interaction is possible due to the energy the mitochondria provides. Do you know the mitochondria is capable of discharging 200,000 volts of electricity? This not only pertains to electrical discharge, but also applies to heat energy as well. Interesting. For a human to burn and melt, 1600 degrees of heat must be generated. There are several hundred mitochondria present within a single cell. If all the mitochondria in the body began functioning at the same time, a tremendous amount of energy would be generated and released. Melting a human into a puddle of fluid would be a simple task with so much energy. Ugh, I am so I'm already tired of saying mitochondria, and we're still near the start of the game. In the end, we're just using them for energy, right? They have control over an organism's growth. Take this hand, for example. Before we're born, the hand is merely a glob of flesh. But when cells between the fingers deteriorate, that's when the fingers form. When the cells which make up the body aren't needed anymore, it receives a signal to die. The signal is initiated by the mitochondria. When it is relayed, the genetic information in the nucleus is cut off and in essence dies. The same can be said for aging. The mitochondria mutates 10 times faster than cells. Of course, this also applies to mutant forms of it as well. When too many mutant mitochondria multiply, energy production level decreases. The decrease in energy production is associated with the aging process. Consciously? When I said that that they could mutate 10 times faster than normal cells, I also meant that they could evolve at a rate 10 times faster. Since the beginning of creation, the mitochondria has been evolving at this rate. It's no surprise if they possess a power beyond our cognition. No surprise at all. Let me tell you something. There was a scientist who tried to determine the mutation rate of the mitochondria. With this, the scientist wanted to establish a connection with human ancestry. In 1987, it was announced that the root of all humans can be traced to a single woman in Africa. This finding was announced around the world. And with this, the mitochondrial theory spread like wildfire. You know what they call the root of it all? Mitochondria Eve. Splendid name. A Parasite Eve. Better not be holding back on us. Well, guess he's got nothing else to say to us. He seems a bit too passionate about mitochondria, this dude. Just a little. Alright, back to the precinct. Got a break in the case? Oh. I'm kicking this into turbo. Not turbo overdrive. Back to the New York City Police Department, 17th Precinct.